What is going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. Hope you're all doing really well. Grab those coffees. I'm going to talk about two things today. Number one, I'm going to show you my vault that I just got yesterday. Vault on two characters, Paladin and Priest, of course. And had lots of good things to choose from. I'll show you the vault in a second. Second, I want to talk about the changes that just happened to Shadow Priest that went live yesterday, or like today if you're in the EU. So Shadow Priest got a bunch of big buffs, and I'm going to explain them in a second and talk about what implications that might have on Shadow Priest builds in terms of your talent setup moving into this week and beyond. So we'll talk about both of those things. Let's start off with the vault opening for both of my characters. All right, we're doing the vault. We're doing the vault. I hear you. Let's do it. Should be 6 slots, right? Okay. Here we go. Do we get any tier set pieces? Oh. Oh, this is against demons. 405. Oh my god, that might be the best one right there. Verse Mastery's bad. Crit Mastery is bad. Wait. Cloak of... Oh, Devotion. Oh, it's Haste Crit. That's okay. We want Haste Mastery. That's what we're looking for. Crit Mastery Avoidance. Oof. 389. That's a good upgrade. That's the best upgrade right there. 372. 372 to 405. That's clearly the best one. And there's Haste on it. So that's the best one for sure. Unfortunately, no tier set, man. I really needed a tier piece. Because, like, the tier pieces... All we need is our 2 set, realistically. I feel like for Shadow Priest, you only need your 2 piece. But let's do this. Chain of Scorched Bones seems real good to me. Yeah, okay. I'll check my Paladin, too. I got a vault on the Paladin as well. I don't know how many. Maybe just 1. Resplendent Gemstone. What does that do? Oh, I have to... This is for the quest. Yeah. Let's put this baby on. Holy shit, man. 405. Look at that. Absolutely bananas. We have 16% haste now. We're getting there. Okay, let's see what we get. Oh, we got 2 spots. Nice. Oh, we got a tier piece! Oh, my God. Oh, we got... Wait. Yeah, we got a tier piece. Holy shit. We gotta take that, right? It's Haste Mastery, too. That's actually not bad. Oh, my God. Of course my Pally gets a tier piece. Oh, man. I gotta try and, like, get that second piece. Oh, that's really good, man. Where'd it go? Right there? It's really good, yo. Now we have Holy Shock increases your critical strike chance by 4% for 10 seconds. That's really good. Holy Light, Flashlight, Light of Dawn, Word of Glory, and Bestow Faith healing is increased by 6%. And their critical effects increase the damage or healing of your next Holy Shock. Oh my god. Wow. It feels like you... Alright, so those are my 2 vaults. Some great items there. A great 405 piece for the Shadow Priest. And then tier for the Paladins. I'm going to get my tier online for Paladin before I'm going to... This is always how it goes for me. My alt characters literally always get their 2-piece bonuses like before my main. It's just the way it goes. That's okay. Let me shift back into what happened this week with Shadow Priest in terms of the buffs that we got, and what implications is that going to have for the builds that we're going to be trying out. Maybe some different builds here for you guys, and I want to explain why that might be the case. So if you don't know, you're living under a rock, Shadow Priest got a massive buff this week. It just went live yesterday on Tuesday reset. Here's what it is. Vampiric Touch damage by 10%, Shadow Red Pain damage, Shadowy Apparition damage, Devouring Plague damage, all 10% more. Here's the big stuff. Void Bolt damage, 20%. Mind Blast damage, 20%. Mind Spike damage, 20%. Mind Flay damage, 20%. This is really crazy. Last thing I'm going to say, I'll talk about this in a second. Idol of Yasarj increases damage done by 5% when Mindbender is summoned and the target was feared. So they nerfed the feared thing by 10%, which is a pretty big nerf, actually. It's actually okay, though, because I wasn't a big fan of the gameplay loop of having to, like, run in and hit Psychic Scream, and then you get your Mindbender. It was just really dumb. So I'm glad that they changed this. Now, these 20% buffs, what does this mean for us? Well, what they don't mention here in this buff is that all of these abilities right here, these three, they all deal extra damage from Psychic Link, right? So essentially, your Psychic Link damage also just went up by 20% if you're playing Psychic Link. Obviously, on single target, these are all doing 20% more, which is great. In AoE, you're going to take Psychic Link, so you're doing more damage with Psychic Link now as well. So it doesn't show that in the description here, but that's a really important thing to remember, is that all this is going to go into Psychic Link damage. So we can see right here, right, that the 20% buff is going to go straight into this Psychic Link. So Mind Blast, Mind Flay, Mind Spike deal 60% of their damage to all other targets affected by your Vampiric Touch. All three of those abilities are now doing 20% more damage. So it's going to funnel into Psychic Link damage, and it's going to end up being a very interesting change for Shadow Priest. And here's where I'm pivoting into the last section that I want to talk about, which is which builds might actually now be better in terms of the talent loadout. Is there a shakeup potentially with the builds? And primarily what we're thinking about is Mind Spike. Is it okay to take Mind Spike now with Surge of Darkness to get that proc? Is this enough? Is this 20% buff to Mind Spike, Mind Flay, Mind Blast? Is that enough to sort of push you into a different build here? So here's a couple of the builds I'm going to be experimenting with in the coming weeks. I've got them right here. So number one, we've got this build here, which is the Void Eruption version of the build. So Void Eruption plus Mind Spike with the buff into Mind Devourer and my Deathspeakers. This is the Deathspeaker build that I have been trying a lot, but the added difference here now is that you don't have Dark Ascension. Instead, you have Void Eruption, and you're going to take the Mind Spike Surge of Darkness combo. Again, you're trying to get those Surge of Darkness procs because Mind Spike's doing 20% more damage now. So, like, is it worth pressing this button now? One thing that I've come to understand, more or less, is that Mind Spike actually does more damage than Mind Flay. Sorry. So Mind Flay channels over 3.9 seconds. So if you do a full Mind Flay channel, you'll get 14,200 damage. In the Mind Spike is a 1.3 second cast time, so you can get 3 Mind Spikes into 1 Mind Flay. So let's take Mind Spike and times it by 3, 4, 8, 12,000, with plus another 1,200. So 13,200 damage, basically. It's just 1,000 damage shy of Mind Flay. And this is without the proc. Of course, if you're playing with Surge of Darkness, you're going to be getting this proc as well. You could actually cast 3 Mind Spikes, and it would give you the same amount of Insanity as Mind Flay, and it would do almost the same amount of damage as Mind Flay. So there's a potential argument here for Mind Spike being your filler spell instead of Mind Flay. I don't think it's necessarily better. It does do a little bit less damage, but I don't know. I have to experiment with this and try with it. Maybe it's actually just better to cast Mind Spike. I don't know why it would necessarily be better, but there's a potential chance that you could just get away with pressing Mind Spike now as your filler instead of Mind Flay, because again, this is 20% stronger than it used to be. So the first build is the Void Eruption build with Deathspeaker with Mind Spike, okay? That's what we're going to go with. That's build number 1 that I'm going to be trying this week. Build number 2 is going to be this build right here. Let me switch to it. This is Dark Ascension, plus we're getting Mind Flay Insanity, and now we're going over and getting Idol of N'Zoth. So, Idol of N'Zoth damage is basically buffed by Dark Ascension. This hasn't changed at all. Our Vampiric Touch damage is going up, and our Shadow Word Pain damage is going up. But the Echoing Void damage is a standalone thing. That damage did not get buffed at all as far as I understand. It's not based on your damage that your Shadow Word Pain does or your Vampiric Touch. It's just its own standalone damage. But Idol of N'Zoth, I've been playing around with it. Like yesterday I was playing around with it. It's buffed by Dark Ascension. Dark Ascension makes your Idol of N'Zoth damage hit 25% harder. And Dark Ascension, the buff stays up for 20 seconds. So you're almost guaranteed to get maximum value out of this. So This combo is going to be Dark Ascension plus N'Zoth, plus now we're adding in Mind Spike with the Surge of Darkness to see, again, if that Psychic Link damage is going to be really, really a significant part of our damage now. And of course, Mind Flay Insanity I would be running just to get that extra single target damage for the boss fights this week because it is tyrannical. Okay, that's the second build I'm going to do. I'm excited about this one, but I'm not super optimistic necessarily. But I am excited. Idol of N'Zoth has surprised me. Yesterday, it ended up doing like 6% of my damage overall in a dungeon, which is no joke. That's a good amount of damage for one capstone node. So, don't sleep on this thing. I'm going to try it out this week. The last one that I'm going to be trying out this week is this build here. This is Dark Ascension plus Deathspeaker. So this is the Deathspeaker build that I've been running with Dark Ascension. I've run this entire build, but I haven't run it yet with the Mind Spike variant yet to see if the Mind Spike stuff is actually going to be viable now, instead of just taking other passives in there. Oh, I actually skipped a passive. All right, I fixed it. I totally messed up this build. So you do want to make sure you're taking Mental Decay and Shadowy Insight. You don't get to take Dark Evangelism or Maddening Touch now, either one of those. Now, again, Dark Evangelism focuses on your dots doing more damage because of Mind Flay and Mind Sear. That is a wonderful passive. It's a very good passive, but my point here is to say that a lot of our damage is now going to come from Psychic Link, not so much from our dots. Our dots are still going to do damage, but the main crux of the damage that we're trying to amplify is the Mind Flay, Mind Spike, Mind Blast, 20% more damage that they got, converting that into Psychic Link damage, making that do as much damage as possible, okay? That's what we're trying to do. So this is the build that I'm going to try, as well as the N'Zoth one over here with Mind Spike, and then as well, of course, as this build down here. Yep, which is going to be the Deathspeaker build with Void Eruption instead. So 3 different builds that I'm going to be trying this week. They might look really, really similar, and I understand that, but they actually can play very differently. And I'm really, really trying to test out this week, how does Mind Spike feel to play? Is this any good? Is this Surge of Darkness thing garbage? Is it any good? And I will let you guys know by the end of this week. I'm going to do a couple of videos on it as well. So that's it for today, guys. That is the vault that I got for week 1 of Dragonflight. The first vault that we got. It was very exciting. Very exciting to get those pieces of gear. And on top of that, the 3 different builds that I'm going to be trying because of the buffs that have come in for Shadow Priest. So I'm going to let you guys know how all these builds are doing in the coming days. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you think that Mind Spike and Surge of Darkness are good enough now with the 20% buff that we got? Do you think it's any good at all? Let me know in those comments down below. I would love to hear from you. Thank you so much again for watching, guys. I love you all. I'll see you in the next one.